Alright guys, we are replacing a Lennox evaporator coil on a Lennox gas pack. We have evap coil that's leaking all over the place. The telltale signs is POE oil. You can see it's staining our timber there, but it's also, we have the oily pan down there at the bottom. So we're going to be cutting this out. This particular one isn't too bad to replace because it's fairly open. So we got the top off. We took off the side door, pulling this one back away, and then we're going to cut it here on our suction side, and we're going to be cutting out our old filter dryer, and the TXV it will be replaced as well. And so we'll show you the new one being installed here in just a minute. Okay, so we've taken out our old coil, and now we're getting ready to braze in our new one. So having to retrofit it a little bit. The new one does at least come with the TXV already brazed up through to the other side of the filter dryer, which that's one of the good things that I like. Before we used to have to braze all that in, but they've done that for us, thankfully. And so now we're just dry fitting everything, getting everything ready for brazing. I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so we've got nitrogen flowing. We're going to have the nitrogen flowing through here and be coming out of here. We're keeping this one open. So we're going to go ahead and braze up our lines here and get this started. Tap it down a little bit. We had a little bit of brazing stuff on there. I want to make sure that the plan is wrapped all the way around. Should flow just like that. Nice and easy. Doesn't take much, so we're going to let that cool, and then we'll insert our suction side, and then we'll be ready for that. So we had to okay, so we've got it brazed in. We're gonna have to let this cool. You don't want to put your bulb on here when it's hot. These are temperature sensitive, so once that cools down, then we're going to secure our bulb in the 2 o'clock position for proper reading, and then we're going to do a pressure test, and then vacuum the system down to 400 microns, and then recharge it. I'll show you that here in a minute. Okay, so we've got our vacuum pump going. We got our bulb here on 2 o'clock. We're going to insulate this, even though on these Lennoxes they're not insulated from the factory. I'm going to insulate it anyways. One of the problems I've found over the years is because this bulb's not insulated, if the sun is shining directly on top of the unit, and because this, you can see here, there's hardly any room between here and here, that it throws off the bulb. Gone to some where they've been up on the roof or sun's been shining directly on them, and the only problem that we had was the bulb not being insulated, so it was getting a false reading. Insulated bulb, everything started working perfectly. So any of the repairs that I do on these, I always insulate my bulbs, but we'll show you that here in just a minute. Alright, so we got a nice stable vacuum, and so now we're going to put the top back on, put it all back together, and start charging. Okay, so we're going to be charging by subcooling. So we had to run our line up inside here. This is our blower compartment door to where the gas pack, that's the where the liquid line was. So we're reading through there, and as you can see, we've only got 1.2 on our subcooling, so we're going to add. And this particular one is calling for what? Subcooling. Look on our label. Tell me what our subcooling is. And we'll keep adding until we reach that. One moment. Okay, so we've added, and you gotta wait 15 minutes after you've added to see what your true subcooling is going to be. So we're going to let this stabilize a little bit. Once we've reached our design temp was 10, so we're going to reach 10 degree subcooling, and then we'll be perfectly charged. As you can see, because we're waiting, there you go, we're jumping. So always wait for your refrigerant to cycle through. And as always, guys, like, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.